Why do estate agents overvalue properties? We're answering that question in this video and also talking about what you can do about it. I'm Charlie, this is Moving Home with Charlie. Welcome, let's get into it. The simple reason that estate agents indulge in the practice of overvaluing properties is because we fall for it. Even when we know it happens, we movers still fall for it. We all think we're not going to, we all think we're cleverer than they are. We all know they do it, and yet well over half of us still fall for it, hook, line and sinker. So why do they do it? Because we fall for it. Okay, it's effective, it works, it gets them business, it makes you choose them if they are convincing enough about the high value of your property. There's a website called Estate Agent Today, which is an industry news website intended for estate agents. And a few days ago, they put a poll out saying, are corporate agents guilty of artificially inflating house prices, as a property developer has claimed? And the results are 58% yes out of 216 votes. So that's estate agents basically saying, yeah, actually, corporate agents, more than smaller agents, are guilty of inflating house prices. Now, I don't know if there's any proof that corporate agents do it more than other agents, but in my opinion, I would agree that corporate agents tend to do it more. So the article they were referring to was this one, and I just wanted to point out that one of the comments in the article was from an estate agent, called himself a proper estate agent. I've been watching him for a while, he's definitely an estate agent. And he says, to be fair, many agents will stoop pretty low. Low stock equals overvalue, brackets lie, higher fee based on the high price, long tie-in, then bully price down and sell for less and the owner pays more fee. We all know them, complete liars and costing owners a fortune. So right there, you've got an admission from an agent that it does happen, although he's suggesting that it's other people, not him. As someone who's worked with agents a long time, I can also say that a lot of agents think that they're not the ones that do it and that other agents do it, but they're not doing it. But actually, it is a painful truth that because it's so effective at winning instructions, a lot of agents reluctantly indulge in it a little bit to try to get your business when you're selling. I want to read you a story which was a comment on my YouTube video about the 8 reasons house prices are going to collapse. And someone called Maggie says, we were tied into an agent for 12 weeks. Okay, so mistake number 1. They didn't sell for us, so we decided to try another. Still, after 6 weeks, we've had one couple look around and nothing since. They all give you the same spiel, but don't come up with the goods. We've dropped the price from 325 to 300,000, still very quiet. And then very sadly at the end she says, I've given up trying. So there's an example of someone that wanted to sell and has tried 2 estate agents, has failed to sell, and is just going to give up selling and decide to stay put. And that's a great example. I mean, we don't know what the other side of the story was, and maybe the agents would give an explanation, and I don't know. But the point is, it's a missed opportunity for a seller who clearly wanted to sell, and the agents that listed a property and didn't sell it. So it's not, it is a self-destructive practice. And I have another one here that's talking about they have sold their property, but they're in a chain, and they've had such a bad experience that after their sale is completed, they're going to give the agent a poor review as they've missed out on what was potentially our dream house because of dishonesty from an estate agent that misled them into the deal that they've agreed, which has led to them missing out on their dream house. Now, I tweeted about this on my agent-facing Twitter account, and I got into a debate with someone who's a really long-standing and highly respected estate agency trainer and commentator, and he said, valuation is not a science. I agree with him on that. I accept some agents deliberately overvalue and then chip, but some, maybe wrongly, will go along with the seller's ambitions and expectations, test the market, prove the position, and then revisit. Losing the opportunity to do that would be commercial suicide. Now, I replied to this saying that I thought that sounded like he was saying it's okay to take on business that you've overvalued, to then chip or get the price down. And the way I see that is He's saying that some agents overvalue and then chip, which means get the vendor to drop the price. And some wrongly will go along with the seller's ambitious expectations. Well, okay, where did the seller's ambitious expectations come from? Normally the agents. And he's saying that proving the position, in other words, proving that it's too high, that the seller's ambitious expectations are too high, means that you can then revisit the price to sell it. And losing the opportunity, so the commercial opportunity to do that, would be commercial suicide. In other words, it would be bad for business if you don't do that. I confronted that and said, well, so you're saying that this is an actively indulged practice where you knowingly take on stuff that's too expensive, lock them into a long contract, and then get them to drop the price. And we got into quite a heated debate about it. The most important thing to understand as a seller choosing an agent who wants to avoid the nightmare of overvaluing, putting the house on at too high a price and then failing to sell, especially in the falling market. The most important thing to understand is this. All of the agents telling you what your house is worth are telling you what they think you want to hear so that you choose them. So Charlie, what should I do then? How do I avoid falling into this trap? How do I know which agents are telling the truth, which ones are lying? I don't want to undersell my house, but I want to sell it. How do I avoid the nightmare pitfall? Okay, obviously it's not easy to avoid, otherwise more people would avoid it. But it's important to avoid it if your reasons for moving are essential, as in it's not like an optional move, it's like you really need to move. You need to tell yourself not to base your decision on the price the agents are giving you. You need to base your decision of which agent based on everything else. Not the price of the property and not their fee, but everything else about that agent. Do you trust them? Do they have something to lose if they fail you, if they let you down? For example, is it an independent agent with their own name above the door, where their personal reputation is at stake? Okay, because they've got a lot more to lose than corporate agents who, there's a nameless guy that comes around and he works for a big brand and it doesn't really matter whether he sells your house or not because he's only targeted on listing your property. But that's not to say they're all like that. Sometimes the branch managers of corporate agents are very, very good. Go with someone you trust. Someone you really trust, not someone whose story that you like, not someone you think is really fun and really charming, because lots of them rely on that to make you think that you trust them, but actually you just like them. Someone that you can easily reach and contact. Maybe you know where their office is and where they can work, so you can actually track them down if things aren't going well. Someone who's got more to lose if they let you down than another agent might. For example, a business owner has got your entire fee to lose if the owner of the business is coming around to get your business, whereas a branch manager of a larger agent is only 10% of your fee is their commission, roughly. It varies. Agents that ask you to sign a long-term lock-in, well, the only reason they would need that is if you wanted to leave and they didn't want you to. But if you want to leave, you need to be able to leave. So that's why I advise not going with an agent. Now, if the agent you trust does ask for a lock-in period, just try and get it reduced, okay? And they'll ask for 12 weeks. They'll typically reduce it to 8. Don't get into too long. 8 weeks is okay. It's fine. I'm sorry that I haven't been very concise or clear with my answer here, but that's because it's a very, very complicated thing to do. It's a very easy pitfall to fall into because there's so much human psychology and emotion at stake, and your own future, because you want to get more money for your house. So why wouldn't you believe the guys that are saying it's worth more? Because they're saying that because it works, and just you've got to try to not be one of the people that falls for that. And you can't really blame salespeople for saying things that's going to get them the sale, can you? Right? Anyone in sales knows that. You need to tell your customers what they want to hear, because if you don't, they're not going to buy your stuff. I hope that has been helpful in some way, shape or form if you are selling your property. If you've got questions about your specifics, if you're currently in the process of choosing between agents and you're not sure which one to go with, send me a private message on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, Facebook. Moving Home with Charlie is on all of those platforms. Or put it in the comments below here if you're happy for it to be public. And I will do my best to answer everyone's questions. In the meantime, best of luck. Don't sign a long-term contract, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.